Hey everyone, welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith and this is
Pet McDonald, and we're here to continuing our playthrough of the Gallerist.
It goes on and on. Before we continue though, there are a couple of mistakes that we need to correct from the last video.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
we never make mistakes.
We made a couple of mistakes. One of the mistakes we made was we moved Lacerda and forgot to leave an assistant behind. We actually did that twice in the video. One of them I caught, one of them I didn't. So that means we would have actually kicked out another one of his assistants that we didn't. So we need to remove another ticket from one of the stacks.
Like this one?
Yes, a white one in fact. The other thing that we did that was more of just something I want to clarify for people. When we placed a piece of artwork in the third position in our gallery, we got a token, right, a reputation tile that we were able to place. You're technically not supposed to use that until the very end of your turn. You're supposed to finish resolving your turn and then use that token. I believe we just used it as soon as we collected it, right? So
yeah, I don't think it ended up making a difference in what we did.
Probably not. But just something to clarify, just so you know. Otherwise, though, I think we're ready to go to the table, and we got a suggestion from not Paulo this time, but Skull Hunter.
Skull Hunter! I like it.
Sounds like one of your folk here from like Jendrick's squad. So
yeah, Skull Hunter, we pulled him in.
Let's go to the table and see what he wants us to do. Well, in a surprise twist, Skull Hunter wants us to hunt for some artwork. Not for human heads, which is good to see. We're going to be kicking out Lacerda to do this, though.
Every time we do anything with Lacerda, I always want to make that Lacertive joke.
Yeah, well now we're being Lacerda. We've kicked him out.
And we can't forget to leave someone behind.
Who are we going to use this time?
Oh, you know.
Yeah, I figured it would be Jendrick.
And the piece of artwork Skull Hunter's looking for is some digital art.
We haven't bought anything from this artist here. What was his name again?
Troy.
Troy, right. So we're going to buy something from Troy here. We're getting this artwork dirt cheap. It's only going to cost us 1 money, which I'll return to the supply. We have 2 new visitors on top of this piece of artwork that will now be sent to the plaza.
And we'll increase Troy's fame by 2 plus 1 for every collector that we have in our gallery.
Which is 4, and we'll move his fame up here to the 2 green star level.
And I'll move our commissioned signature token to match.
And we're also going to get 2 tickets. They can't both be the same. Pep and I were talking about this, and I think we want 1 white ticket and 1 brown ticket, which we'll then be able to place in our gallery, like so. And now we get to collect our next piece of artwork. It's going to come from this stack here, and we'll place it in our gallery.
Oh, remember how you said he wasn't hunting for skulls?
Right.
Take a look.
You're right. It's a giant head.
It's a giant head.
Well, Skull Hunter, you had a very appropriate name for the move that you wanted us to make here. Now, on the new artwork that's been revealed, we can see 2 tickets, so I'll have to randomly grab 2 from the bag. And I can tell you that bag is getting empty. I think there's only about 3 visitors left there. Well, his next suggestion is to use an executive action and spend the tickets we have to bring some actual skulls into our gallery.
That's terrifying.
Yes, but these skulls do have bodies attached to them. We're going to spend 2 of our white tickets to move this visitor, a collector, into our gallery. We have 2 brown tickets to move an investor directly into our gallery, and 1 pink ticket to move this VIP into our lobby. These tickets will now move to the discard piles, and it's Lacerda's turn. We should also note, we kicked out Lacerda's Gallerist, so we have to remove a ticket because of that as well. These ticket stacks are getting quite low, which means the end of the game is pretty close. Anytime Pep and I do strategizing and talking about what we're going to be doing next, I cut that out so you don't have to sit through it. You should know we spent the last good 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes talking about what we're going to do next, trying to figure out, can we get to the master level? Can we even get experience out of this?
But you'll have to wait until the end to find out.
Right now, Lacerda is going to move and kick out our assistant here.
He's getting kind of assertive there with Jendrick.
Yeah, and Jendrick doesn't like that. He's probably going to fight back. The nice thing is we're sitting here, so Lacerda can't leave an assistant behind. One less thing for us to worry about kicking out. But now we get to take a kicked out action. And Skull Hunter wants us to spend our influence down to this star to do so.
And this will allow us to promote an artist.
And we want to promote our good old friend here, Jean-Luc, who's been with us the longest and deserves some more attention.
And that's going to cost us 4 influence.
Right, because he's going from 3 to level 4. We'll spend that influence now. We'll collect the token here and place it on top of his tile, and then gain the benefit of this symbol here. 2 money for each investor and 1 for each collector in our gallery, which will give us 11 money, and that's a lot.
That is.
And we need a lot, because we need 180 money if we want to win at least the expert level.
Yeah, we didn't math that part out in our 15-minute deliberation,
No.
so.
We could certainly still come up short. Jendrick will come back to the office, and of course we can't forget to move Jean-Luc's fame up. That's the whole point of this, so it's going to go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, crossing the 2 gold star level.
We don't have to adjust the signature token because we don't have a painting of his currently.
One of the things we're trying to accomplish here is getting enough reputation tiles to satisfy the conditions of our endgame goals. We only have 3, we know we need a few more. So right now we're moving our gallerist to the international market, That does mean we're going to be kicking out Lacerda's assistant.
And one of these tiles is definitely leagues above the rest in points.
Yeah, this is the one we want right here. And in order to collect it, we need to have a collector and then either an investor or VIP in our lobby. We do satisfy that condition. And we'll take one of Gendrick's cronies and we'll put it into this position. And then this token, we have an important decision to make. Where do we want to place it for what benefit?
Wow, might as well just grab more money. Never hurts to have money, right?
Especially given how much we're going to need by the end of the game, I think that's a good idea. Now the money's starting to roll into our gallery. That's another 11. And we gain the influence shown here, a simple 1. We did kick out Lacerda, so a ticket's going to be removed. A pink ticket has the highest stack, and because he was kicked out in the international market, one of his assistants is also going to go on this table, and the next place he would go in the pattern is right here. One thing we can't forget when placing a reputation token is then we have to move someone from our lobby, and so this VIP will go back to the plaza. Time for Lacerda to move, and once again, he's being assertive and kicking us out.
They should add that term to the rulebook.
They should, definitely. In a second printing, that should be added. And we can't forget to leave an assistant behind in the space that Lacerda left. Well, now he's at his favorite place, the international market, and one of his assistants will have to be placed here as well. And the next space for them is going to be here, so this token will be removed from the game. Now, we also want to take an action here with our kicked out action, so we'll spend our influence down to this next star.
We probably should be taking a 5th tile, but I kind of like to lock down that international market. I think we're going to take another visitor into our gallery instead.
So we'll place another one of our henchmen here onto this space. It's going to cost us 6 money. So I'll remove this 11 and return 5. And we're going to gain 3 influence, and that's going to be helpful to us later, I'm sure, when we want to take further kicked out actions. And now our gallerist goes back home.
Don't forget to take the benefit.
Right, of course. So this allows us to move any visitor from the plaza directly into our gallery. I'm a little concerned we're going to be tight on money at the end of this game. So do you feel okay about us taking an investor?
Let's do it.
All right. For our next action, we're going to this location, and we do want to sell a painting. But since we're going to get kicked out from here in just a moment, we can sell later. A contract is not something we technically need right now, but it might provide us with a future executive action that could be helpful in getting us points. And if I'm being frank with you, Pep is still trying to find a way for us to get to the master level.
You never know.
Yes, and this is playing into those schemes of his. So we're going to flip over 4 new contracts, right, Pep? Because Pep is looking for a contract in particular.
It looks like it came up.
Yeah, Pep is looking for sculpture contracts. We have 2 of them here, and I think this is probably the one we want, right, Pep?
That's right.
Okay, so we'll take this one, and we'll cover up this completed contract here. That means we're going to be returning one of our assistants, and this one here can go away, and I'll place it on the discard pile. We could use our executive action right now to trigger this ability, and I think we want a collector in our gallery.
But we're at our limits, so I think we should hold off, and we've got a couple of extra executive actions we'll be able to use later.
All right. We've kicked out Lacerda here, so we're also going to be removing one of the tickets, and we're going to choose a brown ticket. Pink and brown were both tied for the most. And now the assistant is returned to the pool. Now it's Lacerda's turn. He's going to move and kick us out and leave an assistant behind in this space. To take this kicked out action, of course, we are going to have to spend the influence. You can't see it on screen, but I'm reducing us down to the 0 position. The artwork we want to sell is the one we just recently got, the big head here of an astronaut or something, and it's valued currently at 8.
I think it's just a guy in a bubble.
Our very own bubble boy. So I'll add the 8 money to what we have here. Pep's going to remove this from our gallery. We'll place it with those that we've sold previously. One of our visitors has just left with this painting, and we want it to be an investor because that's going to influence the side of the contract that goes face up. This is the contract that we're using to sell, so we'll return the assistant and we'll flip this over with this side at the top. And then this signature token will be returned to the artist on the board right here. And now we'll return back to our gallery. Now, before we turn things over to you guys, we just want to give you a quick summary of what's left to complete for both the experienced and master levels, because we aren't even considering apprentice level.
No, of course not. It's beneath us.
So of what's left for the experienced level, we need to achieve the highest goal on the curator card.
And that would mean exhibiting 2 more digital art.
And one of them could be this artwork of international renown, which also shares that symbol.
Which currently we're going to be getting.
We also have to be exhibiting 2 masterpieces, and those are pieces of artwork designed by artists who have achieved celebrity status. And something to keep in mind about that is this international work. Again, if we have that exhibited,
and it shares the art type of someone who is currently a celebrity, that counts as a masterpiece as well.
We'll also have to acquire at least 1 more reputation token and have at least 180 money.
Which I think we've got.
Yeah, it might not seem like we have a lot here with only 44 money, money, but we're going to be getting a lot more from reputation tokens, from these objectives, from the international market, the value of the artwork that we have exhibited, and so on. Now, speaking about money, the Master Gallerist level is kind of interesting because it doesn't matter how much money you have. Woo! Well, don't get too excited, Pat, because there's other challenges we have to face. You do have to get at least 35 money in total from the Curator and Art Dealer goals. So some combination of these goals here have to total 35.
Currently, we have 10.
We'll still need to get one more reputation token and acquire at least 3 masterpieces.
And remember, these masterpieces have to be currently on display in our gallery. Art that we've sold cannot count as a masterpiece.
Also, once all of the tickets have been depleted, the game will end, and then we get one final action at a different location from where we currently are.
And we can take an executive action as well.
Remember, the first time in a game where one of these stacks would become fully depleted, we're also going to get the bonuses shown here. So that will increase our influence and our wealth. Well, this has been a very interesting episode to record. We've taken lots of little breaks here during the gameplay to puzzle over what we should be doing, trying to figure out, can we achieve these different ranks?
And it's been really back and forth, too.
Oh yeah, a lot. Because if we can't achieve one of them, then we really need to go for the other. Because if we try to do both, odds are we'll fail both, right? Well, I was pretty convinced, I think we both were, that we could get to the experience level.
Yeah, we're getting to experience.
Yeah, I had written off the possibility of ever getting to Master Gallerist. I mean, there's no way, right? There's no way. This guy just figured it out. Like a dog with a bone, he's determined to figure out how we get to Master Gallerist, and he did it, and I can't even believe it, but it's a thing of beauty. We're still going to turn things over to you guys, but the challenge now is, can you figure out what Pep figured out? Put that in the comments below. And if you do figure it out, the first person who does, we should do something special here.
Let's name something after them in the next game, the next playthrough we do.
Of course, because we're always naming the characters in the game, right? So whatever your username is or whatever you request, maybe in your suggestion you could put like the name you'd like us to use. And if you are the one to figure out Pep's masterpiece of a solution here, and you're the first one to do so, we'll use your name in the next gameplay. That's a great idea. I love that. Okay, well, we're going to leave things to you here. We'll leave, of course, with the board and everything that you need to make this decision. But until the next episode, thanks for watching.